We're good.
Okay, we'll call to order the town board meeting at the Town of Lisbon Town Hall on Monday, April 12th, 2021 at 6:32 PM. Roll call, please.
Chairman Osterman,
Here.
Supervisor Moonen,
Here.
Supervisor Fromm,
Here.
Administrator Nicholas,
Here.
Linda,
Supervisor Beal is here but stepped away momentarily, and Clerk Capozzi to record the minutes.
excellent, thank you. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Feedback somewhere. All right. Item 3 is comments from citizens present. Does anyone have anything they wish to say tonight? So this would be the time, if you have something you'd like to talk about on the agenda, it'd be right now.
You mean on this agenda? Or is it just?
Anything in general, it's your time to address the board if you want. Just step up, say your name and address for the record.
My name is Doug Lemieux, Lemieux, West 221, North 7865, Carberry Street. They listed as Sussex, Wisconsin, but it's in the town of Lisbon. And I got a Menominee Falls phone number. Anyhow, I think I've come up with a way, if it hasn't been talked about before, I don't know, I don't come to all the meetings, but to bring some revenue into the township. Okay? This year so far in spring, since the bicycles people are out, I've almost hit 2 and slammed on my brakes another time. Now, not all of these are coming from the town of Lisbon. It's one that just past Good Hope on Town Line Road. When you come over that hill and you come down to the bottom, it's the bug line. Okay? Nobody stops at the stop signs. My suggestion is, and there's another one too that's in Menominee Falls, and the one in Sussex does have where we should stop for all pedestrians going across. I got that. What I don't get, and this is why they don't have to obey the laws. All of them. I mean, very, very, very few will stop at a stop sign, at a red light, just hesitate, and if they don't see any cars coming, they shoot across. I think we should charge them by making them get a bicycle license, just like a car license for your car. You can decide on how much you want to charge for that. I don't care. I never thought I'd be in front of you talking like this, but I've been out here for 45 years and we've never had a problem. But now that they're adding all the new subdivisions, or have been adding new subdivisions over the last 15 years, to me, it's getting to be a problem. And I don't think this is just me. I think I've seen a couple of them happen already where a guy has slid his car sideways on Town Line Road, just past Good Hope. I know that's Menominee Falls area, correct?
Town line is Menominee Falls one side, Lisbon on the other.
Okay, well, then it would be Menominee Falls because the guy came from the left and went across to the right as you're heading south. Okay, and he slammed on his brakes and slid his car sideways and just missed the guy. This goes on all the time. You get bicyclists that are friends and they get their little bicycle group together. And there they are, 10 of them in a row going down Plainview. It's not equipped to handle it. I mean, they don't care what time of day it is, and they shouldn't have to. But what I'm saying is when they do it on rush hour or that time period when everybody's traveling in the morning and at night, they're all in a bunch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We should have some type of an ordinance if necessary. No more than 2 bicyclists between 100 feet apart. Maybe 150 feet would be more applicable. But I mean, you can't pass them on a yellow line. You're not supposed to. People do. Somebody's going to get hurt. And I don't want to see it happen. I don't want to have to say, I know I should have said something. I know I should have said something. And then say, I didn't. But now I am. Like I say, I've been out here for 45 years, enjoyed it a ton. I've never regretted a moment. But somebody's going to get killed. And at least if it happens, I can go to bed with a good sense of security, because at least I know I tried to do my best. And that's all I can do, is to come in and talk to you guys and let you decide what you want to do. But it could bring revenue in, and then every year, instead of doing a new license plate for them, which would cost a lot, just do like Wisconsin. Get another sticker. Put it on the back of your seat, like we all did when we lived before here. I mean, if you weren't raised here. When I lived in Milwaukee, we had to have one on all bicycles, 20 inches and up. You guys can make a regulation to make it just 26 inches and up. The ones that did adults, you don't see any kids on the road. And if you do, it's from going like from Tamarack to Plainview Parkway. It's the only way you can get there. So that's what I would like to talk about, or have it discussed by you people. Like I say, you can get a license plate for us, whatever cost you decide. And if they are caught without a license plate, it's double or triple whatever the license plate would cost. I'm just spitballing here. Okay? And then from then on, after that, every year you pay the initial cost. Say it's $15, $10, whatever. You get a little sticker, just like you do for the Wisconsin license plates. And every year they have to pay that. If they don't pay it, they're fined. Whoever catches them. I mean, it's Waukesha County, who's ever in charge of policing the town of Lisbon now. I'm not sure who it is. I think it's Waukesha, right?
Yes.
Okay, it's going to be hard to get a Waukesha cop to stop a bicycle guy. But,
They do whatever our ordinances,
I'm sorry?
they will do whatever our ordinances dictate.
Okay, well, they would keep themselves very busy writing out tickets to people that don't have licenses on their car, on their bikes. But still, if it's a $10 plate that you get, and if you get caught without one and it costs you $30, how long are you going to go like that? Just saying. I used to ride around here all the time on mine. It was never a problem, but we've gotten so big. We've got so populated out here. Somebody's going to get really hurt or killed. And it's not just on those intersections I mentioned. It's Town Line Road from Town Line Road onto Plainview. And they're up the hill on Plainview and continuing on west. You get bicyclists, I've seen as many as 15 together.
Sure.
And they don't ride single file, they ride across, two abreast across. I don't know what the state regulations are. They've got to have something, but there's no bicycle lanes, and I'm not saying we should put them in.
No.
Because you don't need to. All you have to do is mandate a distance between them. If there's going to be 15 of them, two here, 150 feet, two more. Otherwise, it's just like a bicycle marathon that they have around in spring and fall when everybody chases everybody around on their bikes. I just don't want to see anybody get hurt. And if somebody does get hurt, like they did in Menominee Falls, there was a guy that got killed at right by Pops. Okay, this was about 4 years ago.
Sure.
He was riding his bike. He didn't stop at the stop sign. He got hit by a car, and Flight for Life was too late. And that's a busier town
Some
than
of that
what.
stuff you're not going to control with a license plate though, but we get what you're saying though, as far as the keeping an eye on making sure they're
Well,
following.
you got to
the correct
register your
regulations.
dog. If
Yeah.
it rains, if it rains, I get charged $50 a year by the federal government because I got water running off my roof, and there's no option for that.
Yeah.
This, at least, you've got an option.
Mhm.
That's all I'm trying to say is you do have an option. And if you don't take the option, when somebody gets hurt or killed, you guys think about it.
Sure. If you want to leave your phone number, we'd give you a call and even talk through some of it. we can't, usually in this section, if it's not agendized, we can't do a back.
No,
and
no, I
forth.
totally get that. This
So-
is all I wanted to do, is to bring it to your
Sure.
attention and, like I say, possibly bring some revenue into the township. It may not be a lot at first, but I say, anything 25 inches or higher, you could make some money on it,
Okay,
okay?
thank you.
No problem. Who do I give my phone number to?
Just
That lady?
Yep.
Okay.
either one.
I'm sorry, I walked away. Thank you very much for your time
Thank
this
you.
evening, and I appreciate it. I'll get this back to her as soon as I can.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. Thanks.
Can I break here? I don't have anything.
All right. You guys need anything for citizens' comments? No? Okay. All right. Anybody on Zoom? All right. Item 4 is the consent agenda. Items listed under the consent agenda are considered in one motion unless a town board member requests that an item be removed from the consent agenda. You've got the March 22nd, 2021 Town Board minutes, the entertainment contract for Sammy Ray and Friends for Community Festival, and the food truck contract for Just Smoke and Barbecue for Community Festival. Is everyone, if everyone's okay with that and would like to approve the consent agenda, you can do that in a motion, or if you'd like something removed.
I'd like Sammy Ray.
All right? You okay with the other two?
Yep.
Would you be willing to make a motion to pass those two?
I'll make a motion to pass the March 22nd, 2021 town board minutes and the food truck contract for Just Smoke and Barbecue for Community Festival.
All right, motion's been made by Mark. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Doug. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion at this point carries 3-0. Linda is absent. All right, so then we have the entertainment contract for Sammy Ray and Friends for Community Festival.
The reason I asked this before is I just had a question under the special provisions section of the contract. It's the last provision. It says if whether the event is unsafe for participants, event shall be canceled. I just had a question under whose authority is that? Because I know it's noted before in the first two sections, artists and agent provisions, but
I'll give her 1 second. She's being talked.
So I believe their contract, they would not, they would cancel their contract. They won't come out if they believe it's unsafe for participants. Not that we have to cancel the whole community festival, but that they won't, their contract would not. You can just leave it right here.
and that would revert back to the third provision. And my follow-up question was, cancellation by ban shall result in ban not being paid. That was my only question, is that they dictate
Right,
them canceling because of the weather, then
they're the ones that don't get paid.
that's all I have.
Okay. Concerns are addressed.
Yes,
Would you be willing to make a motion on that item?
I'll make a motion to approve the entertainment contract for Sammy Ray and Friends for Community Festival.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Doug. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion also carries 3-0. Item 5 is accounts payable, authorizing the payment of bills in the amount of $164,177.41.
All right, so our large expenses were advanced disposal services at $68,825.38. Baker Tilly for our auditors, $13,000 even. The Kunkel Engineering Group, $21,625. Premier Building Inspections, $22,590.62. And then Verbicker for planning services, $12,197.50.
All right, any questions on the bills?
Is that the last payment to Baker Tilly? Just curious.
I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you.
I would say no.
Okay.
I have a question on this copy of the bill. It's because we didn't get the bill, right? Because the same thing happened with the CMH bill that was late. We never got the bill, we never paid it, but there was no late fee either.
Right, we try to negotiate all of the late fees, but if they won't budge, we can't do anything about it, but
I
yeah.
know I just know the EMS one didn't have a late fee, and then we received a copy of the bill.
Yeah. Yeah, so they'll, on why it was a missed copy.
And it's not, sometimes it goes, if they email them to you or something, they get missed.
Maybe that's when we can get on the credit card.
Which vendor was that?
Canon, first page, Canon Financial Services. 2 down from Baker Tilly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know
It
why
says
we missed it.
2019.
Yeah, I-
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
And I remember they, when we got our, this one, then we received that second one that said when they were going through their audit, they realized that, that we never paid our April bill. So,
So they're billing us from 2 years ago?
There's probably late fees and stuff on it too, I'm
Or
sure.
tell them. Tough.
we tried.
Yeah. Well, they shouldn't be
But if
putting a
we-
late fee on that.
Yeah,
Oh my
is it?
God.
You check and see if there's a late fee.
I'll check on it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
It is
I don't
what
know how
it
much
is.
time
I
we're gonna
wouldn't think
spend on
so.
something like that. But
I
mean,
know.
It's just,
I know,
makes you wonder what you're gonna do when that time comes up for the contract.
yeah,
We can use our power another way.
yeah. I have a quick question on a Kunkel. It says $250 for the culvert for Barnwood. Why is not that reimbursable?
She's not gonna, it's unlikely we're gonna know that in the meeting.
Okay,
She'll have to find that out.
yeah, find that out and let us know.
So Kunkel Bill, the Barnwood culvert,
Mm-hmm. $250.
I'll check.
Thank
I'm
you.
sure it was something that
Yeah. It's
Joe would
normally-
know.
Yeah,
Mhm.
thank you.
All right, anything else?
I'll make a motion to authorize payment of bills in the amount of $164,177.41.
Is there a second?
I said, go ahead.
Second by Doug. Any final discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That motion carries 4-0. All right, monthly report of ACH and auto pays. We have that in the packet here. Get a motion to place on file. Moved by Mark. Is there a second? Second by Doug. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 6, announcements, correspondence. We had the Public Safety Committee meeting on Thursday, April 15th at 6:30 here at the Town Hall. There is a Parks Committee meeting on Monday, April 19th at 6:30 at the Richard Young Fire Station. We have the annual town meeting then on Tuesday, the 20th at 7 PM at the Richard Young Station. The Sanitary Sewer District Number 1 Commission meeting Wednesday, the 21st at 6:30 at the Town Hall. Then we have our next town board meeting on the 26th at 6:30 at the Town Hall. And our next Plan Commission meeting is on the 13th.
But it's at Richard Young.
I'm sorry,
It will be at Richard Young,
that one will be at the Richard Young.
The planning commission?
Plan Commission,
Mhm.
Richard
Yeah.
Young.
Are you going for that to have them there all the time now?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Gives us a lot of space.
Yeah.
All right. Any other announcements or correspondence to note? All right, administrator report.
All right, installation of the water main on the Leeds property has been complete. We received a draft of the agreement with Sussex to connect their water main at Village Drive to Main Street, down Main Street to our connection in the Richard Road. Meeting has been up to meet with Sussex and go through the water review. It's April 19th. The large pile of dirt on the property has been moved. Brian is working on 2 additional buildings. And not attached was an overview of the property, but we had, Brian does a drone over it and takes some pictures. So we're putting them on the website. So you can kind of see how it looks. The roundabout at Highway Q and Hillside, Washington County's continuing to move forward on the project without our finances. The project is expected to go to their board by the end of the year. They requested the Lisbon to consider lowering the speed limit to 35 for a few hundred feet right before the roundabout. I believe that to be reasonable. Workers' compensation audit, we did receive the check for over 4,000 based on the number of claims. The fire burn ban has been lifted. In parks, they're working on a tree and bench memorial program. This will allow people to decide one of 3 different price points if they wanted to put a bench or a tree in the park. A meeting is set to discuss the possibility of placing a baseball court. We did that today, a basketball court in Lisbon Oak Park. Extravaganza was a success. Next Lisbon event is the Lisbon Community Festival on June 19th. Mike's making progress on his it's not horticulture, but it's arborist. Certification. I received a resident call praising Mike for returning a lost wallet he found in the park. And Mike's been working on costs for upgrading different park equipment. The clerk finished the April election. It went well. I attached to this is the breakdown of their turnout. Elisa also earned her Wisconsin Certified Municipal Clerk.
Congratulations.
DPW fixed sod damage from the plow season, ground all the brush and yard waste in the compost site and prepped for the compost site opening, which was April 3rd. Seasonal weight limit signs were removed, helped parks with the extravaganza. They did maintenance was done on 2 fire trucks and some public works vehicles, and Joe received 2 resident emails praising the work the department has done by replacing mailboxes and the plowing that they did. One additional thing I found out today that during plow season, our plows hit our memorial fountains and snapped them off. So Mike is checking on the replacement costs. But the one is broken in half and the other one was snapped at the bottom. So we don't have any water fountains any longer out there. So I'll come back with what that's going to cost us for replacement. Dates for court, Sussex for the Wagner review is going to be in court to try to get separated and dismissed is April 30th. And we just received our information that ours will go forward July 23rd. So no decision will be made before July 23rd. Franchise fees will be for AT&T is being transferred to DirecTV. We will still, in the second quarter, we'll still get our franchise fees. They're just going to be coming from a different location. That's all I have for you today.
Could the snowfall thing be covered by some kind of insurance for this?
It depends on what the cost is going to be.
And I want to congratulate Marlene and the Parks Committee, as well as the Fire Department. They did a great job at the egg extravaganza. That's a nice, little cool, but nice.
Candy is 35 mile temporary or permanent?
They'd, when the roundabout's in it, they'd want it permanent because trying to maneuver the roundabout. Once they get their final design, they're working on their final design right now. And that is why they asked, because depending on the design means the size of the roundabout and what kind of exchange lanes they have to put in. So once they get that all taken care of, then they'll bring it back and tell us what they're requesting for the road.
No other discussion on that house, I'm assuming.
None.
Okay,
Good job, thank you.
thank you, Kathy. Item 8, supervisor reports. Does anyone have anything to report?
Nothing to report. Our next meeting is next Wednesday night.
Okay, anything from anyone else?
I have a couple things, with the fire department, the BFIS termination plan, back in the last quarter of 2020, we voted to disband that, and I was still the administrator of that plan, so I just continued on. Now the paperwork is still getting to be a little longer, but all of the payments have been paid out. The whole thing should be done. They're waiting for the checks to get cashed. So some of the people are sitting on these checks, so we're kind of pushing on them, and then the final $19,000 that's supposed to be refunded back to the town. But it has taken longer than I thought it would. But by the time you get all these people and the history of these past members and get them all to come in and sign all the paperwork and distribute this, it took 3 different distributions to get it done. But it's all of the money's been paid out. We're waiting on some checks to clear, and then they'll cut the final check. So you'll see it soon.
It's good.
Okay, thank you.
Fire department is also talking, we had major grass fires Friday or week before Friday. And so there's a chance of filling the railroad. So I know the fire department, fire chief Drager is talking with the Menominee Falls fire chief to see if they want to do it together, one big group billing, or if we could submit our own invoice to them and see if we can get any money out of it. Because it was a long day.
Do they know how much the damages are at all yet? An estimate? Okay.
But usually the best way to collect money from something like the railroad is usually you go on the FEMA or the National Disaster. They have all kinds of logs and listings of a fire truck is this much an hour, a grass truck is this much an hour. And if you go by their schedules, you have a better chance of receiving some money in there. So all we can do is try. We have built the railroad in the past on a couple of different times. Sometimes they pay and sometimes they pay portions of it, settle or something.
Okay.
I guess right now that it's still determining whether it's going to be one big invoice submitted from Menominee Falls for everybody, or if we're all going to group together, or I'm not sure. So, but we are looking into that.
Okay, thank you.
And then I do. We had a little incident at the thing where we go over somebody's yard and it kind of got to be thrown the people, so you might have to go over that yard. It doesn't look like tracks left in it.
Is it the yard or did it destroy something?
It's okay.
Good.
Like the grass, it actually, there's no, what looked like was ruts, actually isn't. And she was very good about it. It was very good conversation, and
Okay,
Joe went over there and took a look at it, so.
okay, thank you.
And then I just like to remind everybody that at the annual meeting, we do have a citizens award that the county fire chiefs have come together, and we're gonna, I think they think it's at 7 o'clock, so I don't know how that works on your agenda, so what you do. I know the meeting starts at 7.
Yep.
The county fire chief should be coming there and they'll present a citizens award that we submitted for. So that's just a reminder. And that they're showing up, the family is showing up.
Okay.
We've got that set right away at the beginning of the meeting.
All right. Anything else to report? All right. Item 9, unfinished business. A, discussion and necessary action regarding non-compliance policy.
All right, so I tried to attempt from our meeting, I did have staff reach out to neighboring communities to see what they had for non-compliance. Some had stated that they don't take anonymous complaints at all. Some do the same thing that I had suggested. What I tried to do was change number 1 to try to address the anonymous complaint portion. And if the signed complaint by the board member shall be turned in and discussed. So if you take one of the board members takes a complaint that a person says they want to be anonymous, then you put it in writing and then we can chat about this and discuss it. We can't really have you write it down because then that pretty much takes care of the anonymous, who that person is. I did add another section, if a Lisbon board member would like to write up a complaint as a resident themselves, they should take that and stay anonymous. They shall take it to a board member and walk it through that process. So those, my understanding was one was the concern last time around.
Well, how does everybody feel about what's presented? Who wants to go first?
I will. I just think it would be nice if the homeowner gives their name, but if they want to rename anonymous, I can understand that because I'm going through that right now. And they've asked me not to give out their name and I promised them I wouldn't.
Mhm.
So I don't think, we could go either way, depends on how comfortable they are. Sometimes when you got a neighbor who's trying to do something on another neighbor, and I'm not saying that this is the case in this one, but I'm just saying it's really kind of sticky. If they know whatever. And I understand that the resident doesn't like it either because they want to know who it is and what's going on and whatever, but it can cause more of a problem, in my opinion.
A remark?
Well, I definitely agree with everything should be submitted, and there should be some writing by somebody.
Mhm.
And this, it's gonna go through a town board member and a town board member elected to take up this cause. I would have enough confidence in them that they would know that it's a legitimate thing.
Mhm.
But, some of these, I don't know, I think with this code compliance, either it's with the code or it's not, some of this, it's just nuisance complaining and people are just not happy with each other.
You're right.
Like, press your microphone
It
button.
is on.
Is it?
I'm not talking loud enough, sorry.
Oh. No, it was off.
Is it on?
Press it again. There, now it's on.
Okay, sorry.
There you go.
Can you repeat all
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I agree if like, on that same accord what Doug said, I agree if the town board member is going to attest that it's true and accurate to the best of their knowledge, I would agree that we obviously took an oath for the people and I will concur with that.
Okay. I don't have anything to say that hasn't been said. So if everybody's comfortable, is there a motion on the code compliance policy?
I make a motion, we pass the Lisbon Code Compliance Policy / procedures presented to us at the meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Doug. It's got a lot of seconds tonight.
My job.
Yes. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item B, discussion necessary action regarding bond schedule.
All right, so in front of you, I have the updated bond schedule. At the last meeting, we spoke about changing the 5.03, which is the public nuisance, and giving it a sliding scale from $50. I made it $50 to $500 a day plus cost. And then I added plus cost to all of the items, all the time. The ones in black are the ones that we're not changing, the ones in red are the ones we're adding or changing. And these were reviewed by the, actually put together by the fire department, our sheriff department. So I asked for your approval of the bond schedule.
Questions or comments from the board?
I do have it's just a clarification on it. For example, the $124 bond plus cost, for example, under 505 or 506. Would that actually be $50 plus cost equals 124? as, I'm just, I have the bond schedule here and
Yeah.
I was confused when I was reading it because some of them do align with that rationale.
It says 124.
So I will remove all the costs from there, plus costs.
Yes, I guess. So we don't have to do it every time the costs change.
Mhm.
Generally, the way it's done is it'll be a deposit plus cost equals forfeiture because, I mean, as you're well aware, when the state moves from $35 to 38, you don't have to go back and change your bond schedule. I mean, I think they're all right, but it's just,
So we just change them all to deposit plus costs,
yeah.
which I'm sure we can approve. We don't have
Right.
to bring that back.
Just not put the amounts down?
It'll say
No, for
deposit
example,
plus
like
costs.
5.05, it would say $50 plus costs, and that's $124.
Oh, okay. So what does it normally go into the costs? Just curious.
There's a $26 penalty assessment, there's a county jail assessment, there's a court cost, crime lab. So
All kinds of-
they're just little fees,
Thank God I've never
percentage
had a-
fees that are.
Never had an issue.
Is everything that, I mean, is this a pretty comprehensive list of things, or is there things that are missing on here that need to be added?
This is what our deputy put together, our captain, and was reviewed by our captain, to add costs, because we didn't have a deposit in a lot of these areas, and so this would clarify them.
And I'm not an expert on any of this, and that's why I'm asking. The costs are, I get whatever you guys think is right. I just was reading some of these and, like entry into a locked vehicle, is there such a thing as entry into an unlocked vehicle? And does the comprehensive list here cover all the possibilities when police actually do these things? I mean, is it, and some of it I don't understand. I don't want to get off the tracks here with the discussion about these things. I just was wondering.
Yeah, so any ordinance that's on the books, we have the ability to assess a specific cost to. We could do a general cost, sorry, let me clarify, general bond deposit, but it's better to list every specific one for purposes of the person knowing what they're gonna get charged.
So I will make this change and move it to our captain.
Yeah, I don't see any, there's no errors in it, it's just, I don't want somebody to be confused with the plus cost addition.
Anything else from anyone?
Do we have to do a contingent motion or is it?
Pass the motion with changes.
Are these pretty common with the areas? I imagine Lisa doing it has to be pretty common. The amounts. Okay. All right. I don't know any different. We have to respect her. It's her position. We have to make a motion to approve these?
Yeah. So I mean, we could,
I'll, and just, I'm gonna abstain from voting, on the off chance I would ever have to issue one of these, but
Oops.
just,
which one you got in mind, Mark?
just,
Yeah.
I'll make the motion. To make the motion to approve the bond schedule with the noted changes. Is there a second?
I second. Go ahead.
No, you take it.
He got it. Doug got it.
Driving, but watching my rearview mirror all the way home now.
I know where you live.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passes 3-0 with Mark abstaining.
thank you.
Item C, discussion necessary action regarding resolution 2021-07 related to interest charges for unpaid ambulance fees.
So this, we had at the last board meeting, was tabled to bring it back after I checked with LifeQuest to see if they were going to bill us for putting a interest rate charge on it, and they are not. And the full interest rate comes to us for late payment. So it doesn't they don't take their portion out. So I'm asking for a charging of 1.5% in lieu of resolution 2021-07.
Any questions?
When you say 1.5%, Kathy, is there a period of time that that's good for? Or how many days, how do you,
Every month that you're late, so after 30 days, you don't pay it, then you're late. And then you get a 1.5, and then 30 days, you'll get another 1.5.
do you think that should be spelled out on here?
Lifeless will take care. We
Okay,
just have to, what I needed from you
It's a
was to
1.5.
say that 1.5 was
Okay.
okay to charge.
okay,
Because we have a choice between 1 and 5
or
One
5,
point, yeah, somewhere between 1 and 5%.
is what your choice is.
Right.
You want 1.5.
And I'm suggesting 1.5, which is what our ARs
what's ARs?
are. Accounts receivable, if somebody doesn't pay their bill,
Okay,
we charge them 1.5. So
okay,
we would think the same for an ambulance.
okay. I make a
Okay.
motion, we adopt resolution 2021-07 as presented.
All right, motion.
Resolution authorizing interest charges on unpaid ambulance bills.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mark. Oh, you lost out, Doug. You had a good streak going, though. All right, any final discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 10, new business. A, discussion and necessary action regarding request by Diane Lichty. I say that right? Lichty. To contest a 14-day non-compliance order to remove items stored in violation of Town Code Chapter 5, subsections 502A, parent A, parent 1, and parent 2, and subsections 502, parent B, parent 3, parent 10, on the property located at West 225 North 8934 Jolin Drive, tax key LSBT 0147.994.001. All right, I assume you are Diane?
I am.
All right. If you don't mind stepping on up, and Kathy, I don't know how you want to start this one out, or Lisa?
And Inspector O'Hafen is on Zoom if we have any questions as well. We received a complaint that caused us to direct our building inspector to go and take a look at their property. He determined that they were in violation of the town's code, and the Lichtys were sent the attached letter. The final paragraph gives them the option to contest the violations, which they did do. With page 3 is their email, and 4 is a photo attachment. And the Lichtys are here if you have questions.
Questions from the,
Can we just get a history from Brian as far as our staff involvement?
hey, Brian.
Hi, how are you guys?
Oh, hang on, I gotta turn the volume up. Okay, try again.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Turn it up on the, this is on the computer instead of on the.
This is the only volume control that we have. Yeah, with being hooked up to Zoom it is.
Yeah, because this is feedback. We can just barely hear you, Brian.
How about this? Is this better?
Yes.
Okay, I'm talking closer to the computer.
Did you hear what Mark asked, Brian?
Yes. I did receive the complaint through the town hall, and I did go out to the property, and the lot line between the two neighbors, the one complaining and the complainant, is very well landscaped, but way in the back, you can see piles of what looks to be firewood, and it does look to be some piles of brush. Along with the complaint, there was, she claimed there was dog feces. That I cannot confirm. So I don't know so I wrote the letter. Diane did contact me, and she was directed back to the town hall to contest, which she is doing right now.
How long has stack of wood or the wood? Brian?
My guess, and like I said, it was only viewed from the road. My guess is it's probably maybe 6 feet high, maybe 10 feet long, maybe a little bit longer.
Do you use that wood? Can I ask her? Yeah. No, I didn't know if she had a fireplace and she continues using this wood.
No, this wood is on their property. That's all piled up. I have brush on my property.
Oh. So
Yeah.
this isn't yours?
No, that's all theirs. I took pictures to submit that. Because they're complaining about mine, but yet, you know, they're in the homeowners association and they've got all that in there, which shouldn't even be allowed. My stuff's along a tree line. It's all on a tree line. You can barely see it. It's way back in the woods.
How long is that?
Gosh, I don't know.
That's what he was talking about.
Oh, okay.
That's what Brian was talking about.
Yeah, it's
Brian
all
was
from
not talking about this.
When Asplund cut all my trees down. They're in there like every so many years because I have electric and telephone lines and they have to keep it free and then they just leave it lay there. And I have a wood, so every time sticks and branches or trees are going down, I just throw it on the piles. But nothing's visible from the road. It's not an eyesore. That's more of an eyesore because I can see it right out my kitchen window. And it's been there for, like I said, probably over 50 years. And ever since we've got out of a meeting, we had a subdivision meeting because they're just constantly complaining. They're nuisance neighbors. So they were complaining, and I guess right after that, that's when they decided, you know, they want to get back at me. So they're going to try to do anything to get back at me because we were in a property dispute. So now they want to try to get everything, you know, against me. Whatever they can find, you know, they're going to do it. And I know I talked to a neighbor on North Lisbon Road, and I guess she was like filming them. She was sitting at the end of the subdivision road filming them. So
We know about all the
Yeah.
complaint
Yeah.
stuff. It's just,
I'm just saying, you know, that's
Yeah.
just how they are. They're just looking to get at somebody.
So you're not disputing the fact that you have the,
Yeah, there's brush, but yeah, there's brush back there. I said probably for over 50 years. You know, it's in a tree line.
and what would it take for you to clean that up?
Oh, a lot.
well, one thing I guess we should ask too is this any kind of secondary environmental corridor up in the woodland corridor? Because believe it or not, there's restrictions that it can't be removed if it is. Secondary environmental corridor, if a tree falls, you have to leave it.
Well, it's in the woods. I mean, it's, you know, a
Right, but
wooded
is it a
property right there. It's not in the open.
I'm trying to pull it up on the Waukesha County GIS right now.
It's, there is secondary on there, but it's, I mean, it's very spotty. Is the brush located in the, I guess it would be in the northeast corner of your property? Is that what the,
Yes.
okay, it looks like the corridors are more towards the front of the property in the southwest corner and then the southeast corner. The wooded part is absent from,
From the corridor?
yeah, this one's.
It's not in the subdivision, huh?
Yeah, just, I guess the history of that property, it's,
Yeah, I'm not in the
there's
subdivision.
two properties that are not part of the subdivision, correct?
Right.
I'm surprised Joe didn't.
Two, right?
Yes.
This is the question.
Everybody else is part of the subdivision.
Isn't it,
Yeah. Well, I guess John then would be,
Yeah. he is
but
part of
he's
the
exempt from certain things. Yeah.
but the properties that are not part of the subdivision are yours property one, and then there's undeveloped property number two, which is LaFleur's.
Oh, an outlet. Yeah.
That's still in the subdivision.
I don't, it doesn't, on GIS, it numbers it as number two.
Yeah, outlet too.
Number, not
Yeah, the
outlet,
property
outlet.
owners don't have a claim to it that are in the subdivision now. They only have a claim to outlot 1 and 3.
Yeah, but that's not an outlet, that's just a lot. Somebody owns that lot.
Right, but it was called an outlet. It's called outlet 2.
Yeah, because there's technically the second property on the west side of the road is plot two, the Solomon property.
I guess what it comes down to is whether or not it's in compliance. And I hate to say that, but I'm not a person that's an advocate of this in any way, shape, or form, let me tell you. But
And
we have an
Brian is a-
ordinance.
Brian is the one that determines that, isn't he?
He's the one that examines it, yeah.
Exactly does the ordinance say how much, or can you have any brush at all?
The ones cited say, well, the first statute defined, or first ordinance defined there, 5.02. Sub A, sub 1, sub 2. That just says what a public nuisance is. Public nuisance is a thing, act, occupation, condition, or use of a property which shall continue for such length of time as to, and then sub 2, substantially annoy, injure, or endanger the comfort, health, repose, or safety of the public. And then the 5.02 B3 is the following acts, omissions, places, conditions, and things are hereby specifically declared to be public health nuisances, but shall not be construed to exclude other health nuisances coming within the definition of subsections A of this section. And we cited 3 and 10. So 3 is the accumulation of decayed animal or vegetable matter, trash, paper boxes, rubbish, rotting lumber, bedding, packing material, or scrap metal. And then 10 is any use of property, substances, or things within the town emitting or causing any foul, offensive, noisome, nauseous, noxious, or disagreeable odors, efflua, or stenches extremely repulsive to the physical senses of ordinary persons which annoy, discomfort, injure, or inconvenience the health of any appreciable number of persons within the town.
I don't think it fits 502A or 1 at all. I don't think it fits number 2 at all either.
And it's just strictly natural brush.
Yes,
There's
mhm.
no lumber.
No.
Nothing.
So it's,
Animal carcasses.
Nope.
do you happen to have any pictures for us?
No, I don't.
Brian,
Accumulation
do you have any on your computer?
Accumulation of decayed.
Brian, do you
animals,
have any
vegetable matter,
computers,
trash, paper
any
boxes,
pictures
rubbish,
on
rotting
your
lumber? Well, lumber is, what is lumber
computer?
just dictated?
It's not defined, but I'm guessing it's probably
It's gotta be construction material.
construction material.
Yeah, it doesn't cover trees.
You know, it's not brush or natural.
Here, Brian?
No, that's my mouse.
Brian,
Yeah, to answer your question, Kathy, no, I do not have any pictures. I did not actually enter either property because I wanted to stay neutral.
502B, 3, accumulation of decay, I mean, it's specifically listing these, you know, like Mark just read.
Right.
I don't think it's lumber. Accumulation of decayed animal or vegetable matter, trash, paper boxes, rubbish, rotting lumber, bedding, packing material, or scrap metal. Brian, did you find, you said you couldn't find any decayed animal or vegetable matter? I mean, is decayed animal matter feces?
Or carcass?
No, probably
Carcasses?
carcass.
Not storing any dead carcasses, are you?
No.
I mean, vegetable matter,
Do we,
trash, paper boxes, rubbish. I mean, Brian, did you notice anything in item 3 there?
I just thought that the lumber would be, or not the lumber, the brush would be of a rotting nature, the way it was described. I did not confirm any animal feces or any odor.
Rotting lumber, though?
Or brushes?
Is brush really,
No.
I guess I would not dictate brush as being lumber.
it's not brush, it's rubbish. So accumulation of decayed animal or vegetable matter, trash, paper boxes, rubbish, rotting lumber, bedding, packing material, or scrap metal.
Right. What would branches be defined as?
Is it a lot of brush in your, or is it just trees?
or brush.
Well, it's a woods.
Yeah,
Yeah, so there's brush and trees.
yeah,
Yeah. And I constantly have branches falling.
yeah. Well, yeah, we all do,
Yeah.
all the time.
You have your GSI up there?
Yeah.
Maybe she should come on and point to where that is.
Sure.
I can't even see it on there.
Yeah, because I can't see it either.
Ma'am, you want to come to the front? Or-
Oh, I'd like to see too.
Sure.
Yeah, it's like right along, right there and then here.
So just for the record, she's indicating it's along the north property line and the east property line. And,
Yeah, not the whole, just like.
and she's directing it towards probably the last 50 to 75 feet of each length, leading towards the northeast corner.
Where is it, the neighbors with?
Oh, right in here.
Right here.
Yeah, which I said, when I look out my kitchen window, it's right there, a big pile. That's an eyesore. They can't see anything of mine.
Yeah,
Because their property comes to a corner and they can barely even get back there.
yeah.
Because they piled up all their wood.
Thanks. So what we're here is
It's
to determine whether or not
complaints,
it's,
that's all.
we believe it's a code violation, correct? I mean, that's where we're at. We have to make the final
Determine if
determination.
it's a-
But
is it
isn't,
Appealing her code violation.
I would say I'd have to, if it goes the way Supervisor Moonen just read them, I'm not thinking a brush pile fits into that.
I would agree.
So I'm not so sure.
And if then-
Do we have the complaint? I don't know which,
I don't think that you put it in.
I can see if I can grab it quick.
But isn't Brian the one that determines if it's code or not, or no?
She's appealing.
Well, I'd like to have maybe
would too.
Brian check it out more.
What, we have to determine this is not Brian's call.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can ask for more evidence if we need it.
I like to
We
see
got
it
Brian too.
myself. Yeah,
Rock in a hard place. Yeah, I mean, it's hard without any pictures or anything.
exactly.
Mark could do a site.
I've done enough site visits through GIS. And I drove the property too. I can't, I mean, the north property line is heavily wooded between the two properties. Most of the east or west property line has got, I mean, they're evergreens technically, but I personally don't think it's in violation of our town code.
Do you have any future plans to do any cleanup back there or start moving some of it out or get rid of it? I mean, would it be something you entertain doing just because you want to clean up your woods or something? I'm just asking.
No, I didn't have any plans on moving it. I mean, because I said asphalt comes through there all the time. You know, well, not all the time, but every so often, and then they just cut it and leave it lay there.
Why
You
do
know.
they cut it?
Because I have telephone.
A power
yeah,
line.
I have telephone and electric lines.
rigs back there with
So-
the chipper.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk, more than welcome. You just got to come up, state your name and address if you would. We're on Zoom, so.
Hi, yeah, Asplund has been cutting that property, those tree lines for years. And they pile up all the brush right there because they can't get their big rigs back there and their chippers. So we didn't have a problem with that, you know, them stacking all of the brush that they cut there.
Is it all from your property or from other properties?
Yes,
too?
no, it's on our property,
But I mean, is it from anywhere else in the area or is it all just yours?
just all ours.
Could they be asked to move it?
Well,
Just a thought.
you know, like you said, all of the, it doesn't really fall into any category like all of the above. We're decomposing animals, you know, lumber, it's a natural substance, it's brush, tree branches.
Yeah, which is all in woods, you know, trees go down all the time and branches. I
So we have in front of you a few choices for motions.
Mhm.
So
I
you've
just
got,
think we're waiting to see what the complaint is.
you've got a motion to fully or partially withdraw the non-compliance order. Motion to grant an extension to cure all violations contained in the compliance, non-compliance letter. No action allowed to just run its course, and then other action deemed appropriate by the board.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Just to clarify, Brian said he did this from the road. He never really went on the properties. I wonder if Brian, if we could direct him to go actually walk back there, be given permission and something, and actually go back there and take a couple pictures, just to verify what exactly the brush pile is all consistent.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a problem.
Then we'll delay any kind of cost.
I guess my position on that is I don't see it in the ordinance that brush piled is something.
That's
in-
why we
in
want to see what
ordinance.
the complaint is, because the complaint
Yeah.
says brush, and Brian's not seeing anything but brush, and they're telling us it's nothing but brush.
Now,
I'll make a motion right after I see the
Yeah.
complaint form.
I mean, if they're using the brush pile and then piling weeds on top of it, piling composted material.
You can have a
Thank you.
compost.
Just purely brush.
But I
Yeah.
think if, I mean, vegetable matter and trash, paper boxes, like if, I think that's for people who mound up burn piles.
Is there any, I mean, well, okay, so here we have a rotting waste smell.
Yard waste, dog feces, and other rotting things.
So a rotting waste smell would be covered under this ordinance. Do you have anything in back there that stinks?
Nope.
I mean, this is something we'd have to probably,
No,
Right.
They
Get on
just
your
say that
property to
because I
check.
have 4 German shepherds and they don't like my German shepherds, so they complain on that too, so.
honestly, their opinion or your opinion, we just need to get the
I know.
the
The
absolute
facts.
fact end of
Yeah.
it here.
Yeah.
We are, this area of town, like no other I have ever seen in my entire life, has the most complaints
Oh, I
over
know.
the stupidest things I have ever seen, and it's
That's right.
driving us all nuts. I
Yeah.
cannot believe grown adults are actually doing this, and it's stupid.
I know.
And we don't know who's right or who's wrong, and quite frankly, you can't cure something when it's everybody's, you don't know who's telling the truth.
Well, it was
But-
never a problem before they moved in.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, this has been horrible. So we're gonna have to, I think we're gonna have to get on there and check this out.
I agree.
Would you guys consent to the inspector coming on your property to inspect?
No.
And we can even take a board member along. I know Brian doesn't want to be in the middle of this.
No, Brian's more than welcome to come out.
Yeah.
Do you mind if one of us goes accompanies
Yeah, I
him?
don't
Yeah,
care.
not a
One
problem.
more, okay. All right, so we'll do that and we'll postpone this until the next meeting. Anything else you want to add in the meantime?
I don't think so.
I think we should say the fine, that there's no fine until this is resolved. If there is.
Right. Definitely delay this. So when is
Delay.
this up?
Mhm.
3/20? What is our 14 days?
But they already put it in motion, so it just stops everything until the board makes a decision.
All right, so we don't have to make any special anything.
Okay.
Anything anyone wants to add? I'll move to postpone until the next meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mark. No discussion on a postpone. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. All right, we'll get in contact.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Brian could call any of us. I mean,
Sure.
okay.
Item B, discussion necessary action on the employee handbook appendix E holiday payroll processing schedule.
So, what I understand from our staff is that we have 11 holidays. It's really not clear which holidays are observed and the number of floating holidays offered. So I put together this list as an appendix E, which is part of the employee handbook. And states that it observes the following 9 holidays plus 2 floating holidays, which usually were Good Friday and July 3rd. So I'm asking for approval of the holiday payroll process.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you need some kind of a amendment or something, or is added to that for the firefighters that don't take the holidays on those days, or how they get paid their holidays? Is this a place in your book that we need that? Or at the end of the book, can you add all the fire departments, things that are not?
Do you have a fire department manual? I've been kind of waiting. I've asked Michelle for that.
Okay, so
So do you have an employee handbook for the fire department?
there is a lot of SOGs and regulations and things, as far as the payroll schedule, I don't know, yeah, she has it, that would probably fit that.
So I don't mind, I don't mind adding it to the employee handbook.
I guess it's how you wanna organize your book, if it's all at the end in a chapter, fire department or something, or is it something you put into each and every chapter, or every line item?
I think we'd have to discuss the holiday payout.
Yeah.
I have not found I haven't found approval by board on payout of employee fireman holiday.
Oh, so that should actually,
So we don't even have the process approved by the board.
that should be.
But it's good, go ahead.
But doesn't that cover it though? If an employee misses a holiday due to work requirements? Wouldn't that be the same thing for the fire department though? Or
I
no?
think it depends. You could look at the fire department in the way that you would look at your nurses and doctors. If
Sure.
they're on, if that's their day to work, that's their day to work.
Exactly.
But if they are off that day, they are lucky and they got off that day.
Yeah.
They're expected to work. on the day that
Exactly.
they're- My son is a RN and he has to work the days that
Mine too.
he's scheduled, and
They work.
Easter was one of them. So he had to work Easter.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get paid a holiday for Easter. That's just his work schedule.
Yep.
So that's
And
something I think it's going to be a more discussion.
And obviously a lot's changed since our original handbook came out because we didn't have full-time fire department. I mean, we didn't have 24/7 style schedule or the California style,
Well, and the handbook has been kind of in the, for a while.
only like 10 years.
Yeah.
What are you rushing
Right
at?
So I know what the fire department was doing is they were giving them 11 holidays in the formula of how they work 24-hour shifts and letting them take them off any time they wanted to see it and kind of add it to what they were doing.
What are we doing they're not allowed to carry these over though. I mean, I know we had an issue in the fire department that's fixed. That's not going to happen again. But I mean, other than that, we're not carrying these over. They have to use these.
It should be, and that's the discussion, because when I came, I was told that they were paid out at the end of the year.
Right.
So that's what we did. We paid them out,
Yeah.
whatever they didn't use. But that might be the discussion that we might want to bring up, is if they don't use their holidays, just like they don't. If you don't use them, you lose them. So you want to use your holiday pay.
Mhm.
Sometimes when there isn't a lot of staffing to cover and there's just no way you can take the holidays. Some of it is not by their decision.
It's
Well,
kind of like their vacation. So if you had a floating holiday that you're holding on to, you're in one vacation, you take the floating holiday and your vacation.
Right.
At the end of the year, you can hold so many hours of vacation.
Yeah.
But not holiday.
Right.
So I mean, they have 6 months to use good, I mean, at least, well, not quite 6, but close to 6 months between the two.
I agree that it should be definitely written up and maybe formally.
There was probably nothing formally in, or there used to be a long time ago with these days, but these match what I have. So it's good, because we've had this over the years, but I found in my email where it
I
was.
think the discussion was that July 3rd was a holiday, and that was it. And other people said, no, it's a floating holiday. It makes sense that it's a floating holiday, because if July 4th is on Thursday, you'd want to take the 5th as your floating holiday, right? You wouldn't want to take the 3rd, then the 4th, and then the 5th, you would have to come back to work. So.
Couldn't that be,
people
the-
like
well, couldn't that be the employee's choice though? Unless,
That's what I'm saying. It's better to be the employee's choice. You
Yeah.
can take it or not. Take your floating holiday. when you want. It doesn't have to be July 3rd.
yeah, I guess looking over this policy and just thinking out loud, do we give floating holidays at the beginning of the year? Do they get both of them? Or do they have to be in employment to earn them? Do they have to meet like benchmarks through the year, like February 1st, July 1st?
After the, I guess,
My thought would be, if you're here on February 1st, you earn a holiday, floating holiday. If you're here on July 1st, you earn your second floating holiday. So that way, if somebody separates prior to July 1st of that year, we don't owe them an extra holiday because they quit.
But it's, I think it was, if you use it or you lose it.
But then after that.
well, when.
Right, I think, but I think your regular holidays, absolutely. You have to work the holiday to get it to next year.
So with a new hire, when would they, like, let's say somebody started the week before Easter, how many days do we go before they would get a paid holiday? Like for my company, it's
I think it's in 3 months, 90 days.
90, I'm 90 days at my company,
90 days is pretty long.
right? So I mean, you give it after the day? I'm just thinking about from a payroll environment, what's not going to be a disaster or nightmare to do this.
Like what Doug was saying, you have to work through the holiday, whether you're scheduled or not. I mean, I think
Right.
fire and police are the only emergency services part of it.
Mhm.
But then you get that holiday next year to use whenever.
You thinking of using it the year after?
Yeah, I mean,
Is that what
yeah. So you don't get, and it's the same way with vacation too. You have to earn your vacation to use it the next year.
But you would get
Right,
these,
that's
but then
what
they'd
they
be,
do for vacation here. You earn it and then you-
but after 90 days, they would get these holidays normally. So
Yeah.
what are you gonna, so if they went off, so it's if a floating holiday on July 3rd, and they want to take July 3rd off, would you give it to them, or would they be required to wait a year to get
Well,
that?
and I guess in my employment, there's employees that are deemed essential and non-essential, not that everybody's not essential, but essential for operations to continue on a 24/7 basis.
Yeah,
So,
I'm not looking so much on the fire department as
yeah,
I am on the, like, let's say, office staff,
and you do that.
DPW. I mean, we're not getting any, there's potential for snowstorms on Easter, but not
Right.
often, but July 3rd, I would hope not. I'm moving if we do.
yeah, I mean, I guess you could set an observance holiday and that could be up to the administrator's notice 1 year in advance or something like that. She could set the observance of a holiday and that's when they have to use it. I mean, so if 4th of July is on a Thursday, is town hall open the 5th?
In that case, that's why it says the administrator will give you.
Yep.
So if it was 4th and the 5th was Friday, we would close the office and everyone would have to take that day.
If the 4th fell on a Monday, maybe some people would want the 5th, maybe some people would want the Friday before the 5th.
Right, that's where we are right now,
Right.
because we have Saturday and Sunday are the 3rd and the 4th.
Okay.
And so the question came up, well, should we take the 2nd and the 5th? And for me, it made me a little uncomfortable saying take the 2nd and the 5th when we're essentially going to be closed 4 days, for 4th of July.
Yeah,
So-
right.
So I'd rather try to work with the
Yeah.
try to have the office open on Monday and on Friday by just working with staff to,
I think the only way on a fixed schedule like that, you have two options. Either you set the usage of floating holiday and you notice it a year in advance and that's what they get. Or they can take a no pay, say like July 5th was a Friday. They could take a no pay, or they could use any other accrued benefit time. I mean, sick would be hard to use, but not putting any ideas out there.
so I do have, if the holiday falls, that the administrator would be responsible in informing the board or the department heads of where that floating holiday. How we're going to take it. A big thing was Christmas also. Christmas Eve and New Year's. Sometimes that.
I mean,
I mean, typically if a Christmas Eve or Christmas is on a Sunday, you get off Monday. If it was on a Saturday, you get off Friday.
Yeah.
Especially for places that aren't open on weekends at all. Do we really want to mess with this?
I don't know what it is now, so I'm just shooting in the
I'm
dark.
pretty sure we just, when the date's up, we give it to them, I'm thinking. So after July 3rd, they get it. After after Good Friday, they get it. So it's just after Good Friday, they just enter it in, and after July 3rd, they just enter it in if you're past your probationary time. I'm just thinking from a perspective of myself and the other employees, like them looking at us going, why did you really need to mess with this?
So
But did you have nothing else to do?
If you were hired after Good Friday.
You would not get it.
You would not get it.
Even if you were
That was our
hired
traditional.
89 days before Good Friday, you wouldn't get it. You had a 90-day probationary period before you get paid holidays.
I would actually be in favor of separating the two floating holidays from that rule.
So if you're hired on a day before Good Friday, you get it?
Yep. I mean, I guess the scenario you just put out there, they've been a faithful employee for 89 days and now they don't get paid on the observance of Good Friday.
That's how we do it at work.
Yeah.
You gotta have a cutoff, in my opinion, but
And that's why I would propose if you're, if you're in employment, say February 1st and July 1st, you're entitled to those two floating holidays.
what about the other holidays?
Well,
What
I-
about,
I guess I was thinking along the lines of Jug was you have to be in employment for the holiday to then earn it to use it the next year.
I'm thinking you get it this year. I mean, I'm thinking you wait 90 days, if you go past it, you get that as a floating holiday.
Yeah, I would say floating holidays, the two floating holidays are in the present year. And then the other holidays, you would have to wait to work them or be scheduled off. The schedule passes that and then you get them the next year.
You wanna wait a year?
I
I
don't
will
think
not
it's,
vote for that.
I don't think it's uncommon.
I think that's completely uncommon. I think nobody does that.
Maybe not for holidays, definitely for vacation.
A vacation,
You gotta
yes,
work
I'm
a
talking
year.
holidays. Are you talking holidays?
You gotta work a year before you earn any vacation.
Yes.
You should get it on your anniversary date, a week. or
See,
whatever.
But you-
I don't
but you
think,
just-
aren't we January 1st?
Yeah, we do it really screwy and I'd love to change that.
So, so with your scenario, I wouldn't have had Thanksgiving, paid Christmas, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. I mean, I'm salaried, so, but if I was hourly, I wouldn't be, and I started in August.
I was referring more to the vacation time, because when you work a year and you earn it, but then they move it all to January 1st. So so you start in July, you work till the next July, then you get 2 weeks of vacation, but then January, you get another two weeks. Because they don't wait till July and your anniversary anymore.
No, but you prorate it. You don't get another 2 weeks, you get just the portion.
Yes, I think if you were,
So if you did 6 months, that one, if you earned 6 months, then we would prorate it in January, you would get your,
Well, that would make sense.
that we prorate it. We don't just give you another 2 weeks. somebody come in for 4 weeks. they will
Wouldn't it
do
be-
that.
I know this isn't, I mean, this would be a whole separate discussion with the handbook amendment as far as vacation and all that. I think that's something I'd like to talk about
That'll be next.
because
next
I think
meeting.
this, how we do it in January, I don't really,
Yeah, I'm thinking, because they wouldn't have any other opportunity to use a holiday if, because they can't move their holidays. They are what they are. Versus versus a rotating scheduled department, you can
Yeah,
move
they-
your holidays to whenever you want.
Some departments just give a holiday pay to all the firefighters on January and say, you're not taking any holidays, this is your holiday money.
Oh,
But why would you do that in January? You don't know
Because
if
at the
they're
beginning
gonna
of the year,
stay.
they just give it.
yeah. I mean, can we just keep this simple and just say
I
if
was
you
gonna
were,
say,
if you're
let's
past
keep
your
it simple.
probationary period and the date falls, can you get it? If you're not past your probationary period, you don't get it.
Then are they?
I know you want to pick dates, but I'm just like, we already have a rule. Do we need another rule on top of
Yeah.
a rule?
I'm in
or we
favor of
could
that
strike
too.
the rule and create a rule.
Mm.
I feel
Why are
bad
we
for
making-
that. I feel bad for that employee that's been here 89 days.
But they know it's coming.
I know, it's just,
I've been doing this 25 years where I'm at with 36 employees and not one person has ever,
okay.
It's
blown
it's
up
the way it
about it.
is.
So these floating holidays aren't really truly floating, you can take them any time of the year you want.
after the date,
After
Probation.
after probation and after the date that it happens.
So they'll get them.
Good Friday would be.
But we're dictating when they
But
use
you're
them.
dictating these floating holidays, you're not saying.
So how are they
you know
really
what, you
floating?
just Take them all. at
Who's
Christmas.
what, I'm not in favor of dictating them either.
Traditionally, these holidays have been used for Good Friday and July 3rd.
That's when they were,
Yep.
so
So they're really not
But-
floating holidays, they're
Okay,
administratively
Here-
set.
here's the history on this. So we used to have, when we had the union contract, we had more holidays. We had like, I think 13 of them,
I think it was.
because we took 2 away.
Really?
Well, when Act 10 came out, we took 2.
Yeah.
We cut out 2 days.
But
So
what-
then there was the 11th. Well, then, I don't know what year it was. I think it was probably towards the end of when Jeff was here. Some people were, just what Kathy's talking about. These days were falling just crazily. So we said, all right. And some people are religious, let's be frank. They're just not. So Good Friday, they'd rather just come to work and then use it on another day.
Mhm.
So we said, fine, we're going to give you 2 floating holidays. Use them anytime you want after the date. And I believe it was after the date. We just, when a date came, we gave you, when the date came up, we gave you credit for 1 day,
And it's in the bank.
right? Put it in the bank and then move forward.
And you could use it December
So you could
12th.
use it that day, or you could use it anytime forward
But do
In
you,
that year.
yeah,
in that year, but you couldn't go to the next year,
doesn't approve.
right? No accrual on it.
So
yeah. No, I think I get that part, but so for, say you have a town hall staff,
Yeah.
Kathy's gonna close the office and they want to report to work. Say July 5th is a Friday.
that was,
They want to come to work July 5th, but Kathy closed the office. Can they?
I
guess
had
it depends
to,
who it is.
I had to be here for absentee voting on Good Friday. I
Yeah.
was the only one in the office.
See, and that's that was part of the reason why this got going
so then she
too.
has a floating holiday. She is already assigned what they do. Good Friday.
Well, there's gonna be some exceptions. You can't get away from it.
Oh, yeah, no, I get
But
that.
no, Mark's saying if we close the town hall, you're telling somebody you can't come to work, either use vacation or,
Christmas Day, somebody decides. who's gonna come in.
No, that's closed.
Right.
That's
And somebody
closed.
really wants to work Christmas because they don't want to do
well,
Christmas.
those are set holidays where we know it's closed.
Yeah.
All right, say Christmas is on a Thursday. That wouldn't work because you would observe a Thursday.
But you're saying, let's say it's Good Friday or,
Right.
so let's pick Good Friday. They decide to close the office on Good Friday
Someone wants to come in.
and somebody wants to come in, but the office is closed. You're saying, well, what do we do?
Yeah,
They would get their float.
or one of DPW staff wants to work.
It would be hard with DPW, because they need
Yeah.
multiple people
Mhm.
to do a job. You can't go tree trimming by yourself. You can't
Too
go
much
to
of it.
mow.
Yeah. I don't think it's happened.
I think,
For a ruler, there's always
Why
an
don't we keep it
exception.
simple?
We're gonna name it the Mark rule now because it's gonna happen, but it never has that I know of.
Let's
Well,
keep
I
it
think she
simple.
just identified one. She had to
well, she
work.
does. And
Well, yeah, but that's part of the reason why these floaters started. Because that happened back in like 2012 or
yeah,
2013.
it's been a couple
And
years,
some
it's like
people,
a
it wasn't
couple years here.
absentee voting, but it was something else.
Good Friday, you have to be here. You have to be here every Friday before the election until 5 p.m.
I guess how we do this, they're set at Good Friday and July, whatever, 3rd, unless legitimate work approved rule by the administrator allows for flexibility.
I would say the ones that are listed are set,
Yeah,
and then there's 2 floating, and if she wants to close the office, it's closed, I don't, but if there's 2 floating, I mean, if you have 1 week of vacation and you want to use your 2 floating around the vacation to go to Mexico or something, why wouldn't they be able to do it?
Didn't they
We've
get an
literally
extra
been doing
day?
this for 8 or 9 years and not had a problem.
I know, let's just,
I'm just gonna put that out there.
there. Solidify it in a book.
no.
We are a half hour into this.
I know, you're like, okay, come on.
So.
Christmas is on Saturday this year, by the way.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
So no
Actually, I think-
holidays can be observed until 90 days after they, for a new employee.
After they've worked.
They receive no holiday pay until 90 days.
And that's what's already on the books, I believe, correct? So it wouldn't be changing.
So in
anything.
that,
What
it's-
you have presented here, we have been presented before.
Mhm,
Maybe not the last few paragraphs were not in there, but what you have ahead of there was.
mhm.
So,
Just thought, why don't we just wait till the book comes out?
Well, it was just to get one piece done, and
Yeah.
because I have questions about July 4th already. If they can take July 3rd on the 6th, or on the 6th would be Tuesday. 5th is.
The 3rd and 4th are Saturday, Sunday.
so we would we, I mean, so the 5th, we would be closed,
We're closed on the 5th,
right?
but should we be closed on the 6th or closed on the
Second?
2nd? Or do we not close and we're just closed on the 5th, and everybody can make the decision themselves
Perfect,
if they want?
Is that considered a floating
leave
day?
it.
Done.
That's a floating day.
Yeah,
done. What you just said is done, perfect.
And that's
I
kind
think
of what
that's
I
good.
wrote. That's what I wrote,
I
Yeah.
think that's good.
and that was the reason.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody good?
I'm good.
Good? Repeat this one to death?
Yeah.
Okay, well, if the handbook's gonna be this, every page in the handbook.
Let's do that handbook in about a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we already beat the handbook through.
I read through the handbook last week or the week before.
I think we've already had 6 closed sessions on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we got,
We just have the compensation to really deal with. I took all the columns out of it. Do we have a motion on that?
Motion to approve Appendix E holiday payroll processing schedule to employee handbook.
Second.
discussion,
None.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Lord, it's
I wasn't
done.
trying to prompt a motion, I just didn't know if I missed one.
So moved.
All right. Item 11, closed sessions.
I make a motion, we go into closed
Oh,
session.
I got to read them first, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.95, parent 1, parent G, for the purpose of conferring with legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation, which it is or is likely to become involved, more specifically regarding the Wagner case, and pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.85, parent E, for purpose of deliberating and negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive bargaining reasons require closed sessions, more specifically regarding Bjorn, I cannot pronounce, is it Kashigans?
Kashigans?
Bjorn's letter of intent to propose contracts pertaining to a water district project, and pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.85 parent E, for the purpose of considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, more specifically regarding administrator evaluation and parks director. On item, the first closed session, we will not be, we're going to call the attorney.
The first one, we do not have anything to address.
So we really don't have to worry about that first one. So the motion would just be on the next two then. So it's just on the negotiating or purchasing of public properties and the last one.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session, more specifically regarding Bjorn Kashhagen's letter of intent and proposed contracts pertaining to the water district. And
employment promotion.
Employment promotion regarding administrator evaluation and parks director.
Is there a second?
I second.
Going to be a roll call vote, please.
Chairman Olsterman,
Aye.
Supervisor Moonen,
Aye.
Supervisor Gale,
Aye.
Supervisor Brown.
For the affirmative, we will be going to closed session at 8:02.
Just a moment to shut everything down.